Hi guys, and thanks for watching the live kawaii. So now I'm watching Astarottes Toy episode 2. So we find out finally what the guy's name is. His name is Naoya, and he agreed after some impressive haggling with Judith that he would come to the creature realm. Now in the first episode with the translation that I was reading, it was referred to as the creature realm, but in episode 2 on Crunchyroll they're calling it the monster realm, so I guess either or. Yeah, Asaha did some impressive haggling with Judith to get him some better pay. So instead of 500,000 yen, he's getting 600,000 yen. And he has come back with her into the monster realm. And they're in the palace, and he seems pretty unperturbed or surprised to find out that there even is a monster realm, or that he is just magically in this other world now. Interestingly enough, he's accepted the job and has come to basically meet his employer without actually knowing at all what it is that he's going to be doing. I mean, I wouldn't accept a job under those conditions. Maybe you would, I don't know. Anyways, Naoya seems to be a brave soul. So he's there and he's going to meet with the princess, and we'll see what happens from there on out. We finally found out why the princess hates men. Apparently, whenever she was younger, she went to go visit her mother, who they still haven't answered or confirmed whether or not the mother has passed or if she is just indefinitely living somewhere else. But the point is, Lotte went to go spend the night with her mother, and she accidentally saw her mother, we'll call it feeding. She was feeding on someone's life seed, and her daughter saw it, and it scarred her very badly. And from that moment on, that put a rift between mother and daughter that they apparently have never repaired from. And it was a bad enough rift that the daughter felt like she couldn't even stay in the palace with her mother. So they drifted apart. Her mother remained at the palace, and the daughter has left to live in a more rural area in the smaller palace. So they don't say whether or not they're still speaking to each other or if the mother is even still around. I'm assuming she is, because they haven't said that she has passed, and they also are still, of course, calling the princess princess, so all sort of plausible paths lead me to believe that the mother is still alive. So hopefully we'll get to meet her later on in the series. But that is why she hates men, because her first and probably most prominent experience seeing them would have been in seeing something that she definitely would not have been comfortable with at the age that she was. And we find this out from her butler, Olaf, basically, whenever he is telling Naoya why she hates men. And he's essentially telling him to be patient and letting him know that the princess is a warm and loving person, but she just has some things to work through, like we all do. So Naoya goes to meet the princess, and this is the typical place where someone would introduce themselves and say, "Hi, this is my name, what's yours?" But of course, this princess is not going to do that. She walks in, she says, "I know your name, come to my room tonight." Pretty bold. I mean, I'm an American and we do some bold things, but that is bold, especially for a 10-year-old girl. So she decides she's going to make Judith happy, although she has no intention of following through with it, of course, and she invites him immediately to her room, and then she just pieces out. She's done. So she sets up this time for them to meet, and Naoya comes to her room, and she purposefully is standing there with a huge jug of milk, because she set this whole thing up to just go down very badly, because she has no intention of actually having him in her room that evening. So he opens the door, comes in, of course she spills the milk everywhere, and Judy immediately sees through this and sees what she's trying to do. After all, she's been with her probably the entire 10 years. She knows her very well. And Naoya, who could easily call her out for this or point out that she did it on purpose, decides to basically be the bigger person. And he not only doesn't pick a fight or make a fuss about it, he offers to replace the milk. In fact, he promises to replace the milk. So he ends up leaving with her handmaiden, Aphie, who's basically, in case you haven't seen the episode, she's like the sexy character with the huge, luscious breasts. And they head into town, and he's determined not only to find her replacement milk, but to find her this amazing milk that he had that morning, because he's already had it. He had it with his morning drink whenever he was meeting with Judith. So he feels that that milk is special, and because he liked the milk so much and felt warmth when he was drinking the milk, he understands why it's important to her, even though it's not really important to her. So they show this brief clip where he's had maybe, I don't know, 12 or 14 different bottles of milk. If I had that much milk, I'm pretty sure I would throw up. And it just shows what a good quality person he is, that he's willing to go to these lengths to make her happy. But of course he can't find the milk, and little does he know that the princess has actually set this whole thing up to keep him busy. She doesn't want him there, she doesn't want him to be able to fulfill the promise, so she's made Aphie, her handmaiden basically, promise to keep him busy and not to tell him where the milk comes from. And Aphie questions him about it because she doesn't exactly mistrust him, but she doesn't trust him either. So she is worried that the reason he's trying so hard to get the milk is because he's actually trying to get into the princess's bedchamber, and she doesn't want that for her, obviously. I mean, she's 10. So she questions him as to why he's trying so hard, and he tells her that he basically had the milk earlier that morning, and that he felt like there was love and warmth in that milk, and that he thinks that those are the things that the princess needs right now, because he feels like, even though he hasn't known her long, her life hasn't exactly been a fulfilling and happy one. And she's very moved by this. So instead of continuing on with the plan set up by the princess to basically barricade him from any kind of possible future success in this endeavor, she decides to actually move to his side and kind of help him out. So with that said, they end up going back to the castle, and she asks him to wait outside, and we find out that the reason that milk is so filled with love and warmth, and the reason it can't be purchased even on a top tier milk shelf, is because it's actually coming from her bodacious jugs. So yeah, that's that whole scene. So basically you end the scene finding out where the milk comes from, which is slightly disturbing. 10 is well past the age that you should be drinking this milk, and the fact that they're serving it to guests is also very interesting. I don't know if they'll cover that more or not, or if we're just supposed to accept that and just kind of breeze on by with that. So while they're putting the milk away, Aphie's breast milk, just in case any of you are incredibly dense and didn't get that, she is talking to him and basically saying that, you know, what he did is nice and it's so great that he got approval, and he notices all these pictures on the wall of the princess, and she's with a very kawaii little stuffed toy, and Aphie basically lets him know that she lost the toy and she was upset about it. And you also have a sense that that toy was probably pretty important to her whenever she was younger, because whenever they did the flashback showing her mother, she was actually carrying that same toy. So he gets it into his head that this is a good gift to give the princess. So basically whenever he comes up later and he's meeting with the princess, he's already aware that she's very young to be doing anything of a sexual nature, and he's not looking to force that upon her or to speed things up unnecessarily. You get the sense that he doesn't even seem to care about that at all, since he came more so for the job. He didn't even know what the job was going to be till he got there. So beyond that, he's just trying to now make friends essentially with his employer, and he takes her this gift because he knows that she's basically invited him. She can't uninvite him. It would be tremendously rude probably in most cultures, not just in their culture. And he is kind of giving her a way out of the situation. He gives her the stuffed animal. She acts like she doesn't want it because she's defensive. And I mean, I would be too if I was a 10-year-old girl in my room and there was a boy I didn't know in my room and I was expected to get along with him in that sort of sense. I would be defensive too. So she's angry and combative and she just doesn't want to have anything to do with him. He basically gives her the stuffed animal and says, you can choose which one do you want, and you choosing will make me happy. And she obviously chooses to spend the night with the stuffed animal. So it gives him a way to let her be by herself and to back out of her promise and invitation to kind of keep him in her room. So this is the first time that he has really shown her something completely selfless. It was nice of him to get the milk for her, but this was something just completely selfless that involved him thinking about her needs and what she needed and where she kind of was in the point of their just now beginning friendship. So that's a really beautiful moment, and she accepts it and he leaves, and basically despite what she wants to think and despite the fact that she wants to hate him, she finds herself kind of not hating him so much. And thus their friendship starts to blossom. So congratulations, Naoya. He wakes up in the morning to find out that the princess has accepted him as a candidate for sex slavery. Yay! So he's officially a candidate in her eyes now, and it's basically kind of like prostitution, except a little nicer, and they're asking him, you know, what his salary is going to be, and basically what it's going to take for him to consider his candidacy. Although he's already accepted, so this is just kind of a formality. They confirm the fact that he's going to get 600,000. They don't say yen, but they say 600,000 of their money that is equivalent to that in yen, so I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm guessing it's not too shabby. And he'll also get board and food and clothing. Okay, so thoughts about the second episode. I liked the second episode. The first episode, I wasn't entirely certain how it was going to go because for me a lot of it depends on her character. The male character, Naoya, has always been interesting because he's already showing kind of multiple levels to his character. He shows that he's confident and caring, but he also shows moments where he's not confident. Like at the end of this episode, before he found out that she had accepted him as a candidate, he was saying, oh, I hope I didn't overstep, I hope I didn't make things worse. So it's nice to see characters that have multiple dimensions to them. I wasn't liking her character at first because she was just very sort of like angry little petulant child, and that's usually, of all of the anime sort of character genres, that's usually the one that I like the least. So it was nice in this episode to see her be a little bit more fragile and also to show some intelligence. There are a lot of characters of this age where they would just continue to be petulant, and the fact that she takes a moment in the beginning to say, I can't just push him away because Judith will become angry, shows that she might be young, but she's not stupid to what's going on around her. So because of the fact that she is a princess, it's interesting to see that she does still have some thought towards diplomacy, and that she's trying to think of how she can make everyone happy, including herself. So at the end, it was also good to see that she is capable of thinking about other people's feelings that she doesn't care about necessarily. So Judy, you expect her to care about her, but in the end, whenever she's thinking about Naoya and the fact that he gave her a toy, it was good to see her think about someone else's thoughts and feelings and what it is that they're trying to get across to her, even though it's someone that she intensely dislikes. So please let me know what you think. If you're watching this series, let me know if you like it or if you don't like it. If you have a different perspective on things, I love to hear what other people think. Let me know if you like one of the characters or hate them. Yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy the series as long as it continues along these lines. So thanks for watching the live kawaii, and come back and check out my other reviews of anime and what I'm watching, as well as the kawaii things that I find. And of course, please subscribe. All of the links are below. If you subscribe, you won't miss any of the awesome anime that I'm going to share. So thanks. Thanks for watching.